Wonderful. Wonderful. Look at all these attendees. You know, when I was putting these posts out on LinkedIn, I was like, dear 3,000 plus of you who will be joining us in the next coming weeks. We look forward to having a little sneak peek session. So I'm so glad that it seems like we've got a great interest with quite a few attendees. So welcome in everyone. And it will be my honor to get us officially kicked off. Let me make sure. Yep, we are recording successfully. Okay, so one final welcome. My name is Kalia Garrido, and I head up strategic marketing and events here at Hike 2. A little bit about us, if this is your first interaction with our brand, Hike 2 is an organization, an IP-enabled boutique consulting firm. We help legal organizations and large-scale law firms that are seeking digital transformation to make the most of their technical investments. And we do this by taking a collaborative, agile, and iterative approach to solving complex business challenges. Our primary focus of our work is on providing innovative solutions in legal, risk, and compliance for highly regulated industries. In addition to the technology services that we provide, we also host legal operations conversations of a variety of topics, just like the one that you're here today. We try to focus both on corporate legal ops and large law firms, like we said. So if you look for a full list of our upcoming events, you can always hit us up at hike2.com and you can learn more about our law firm innovation practice there as well. So a little bit of housekeeping as we get things started. This is a webinar, of course, so your cameras and microphones are off, but man, do we want to hear from you. We would love to welcome your questions in the Q&A. We'll also keep the chat going, so if you have a question or a note or a quip or a link that you'd like to share, please go ahead and make use of that Q&A, the chat as well. And of course, we're going to be recording today's session. So we will share this back out with everyone, and you can follow us on our YouTube account and you'll see it listed there. I'll be sure to provide you a link for that as well. Now, for our conversation today, we have some pretty impressive legal industry experts on the line with us. So I will start with some introductions. And we are absolutely honored to have the co-chairs of the ILTACON 2024 educational track, Rodney Mullins and Donna Frugoli, with us today. Donna and Rodney, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're ready to do it. All right, a little bit of background. So Rodney is the Practice Innovation Office member and the Senior Manager of Software Planning and Development at McGuire Woods LLP. He is accomplished at adopting new technologies in complex multi-tier environments. We also have Donna Frugoli with us. She is the lead application support analyst at Seyfarth Shaw. She's a seasoned IT professional who specializes in researching, configuring, maintaining, and troubleshooting all the firm's applications. Very important. From the Hike 2 side of things, we have Christina Natali with us. Christina is our legal industry expert here at Hike 2. As a litigator, Christina has successfully navigated the case management and litigation processes from client intake all the way through motion practice. And she is leveraging her years of legal and leadership experience. She builds teams and systems that make law firms operate more efficiently. Morgan Llewellyn, another one of our Hike 2 usual suspects on a call like this. Morgan is our artificial intelligence practice director here at Hike 2. He continues to drive innovation, pushing the boundaries of technology and AI to solve complex business challenges. And my partner in crime, Mr. Mike Anastasides, he is our director of legal solutions at Hike 2. He is a strategic leader of solutions with experience in the legal vertical, and he excels at leading high-performing teams to drive revenue growth and build customer relationships. That is all of us, quite a mouthful, but Mike, I'll be happy to turn the floor over to you.
I appreciate it, Kalia. Great intros. Thank you. And thanks, team. Thanks, everybody, for joining. You see the agenda on the slide here. I will tell you that this mostly was going to be about Donna and Rodney and asking them some questions about the educational sessions at ILTACON and learning more about sort of the inner workings of ILTACON. We are really excited, Hike 2, to be going to ILTACON and to be sort of part of ILTACON this year, and that I think will come over during today's session. So we'll be talking about the educational sessions. At the end, we'll certainly have a call to action. Let's get right into it, though. Kalia covered some of this, so I won't go through this too much about Hike 2. Look, we're a consulting partner focused in legal. Lots of work with law firms, lots of work with corporate legal organizations. We provide direction, we provide guidance, hands to keyboard, absolutely. But we really consider ourselves sort of, first and foremost to be advisors. We've got dedicated growing practices. We've got an AI practice headed by Morgan, who you'll hear from in a little while. We have other, practice areas as well. We are really, really excited about ILTACON. I feel like over the last few years, conversations we're having with firms, it seems like every firm, every corporate legal department I talk to anyway, are either upgrading or considering upgrading their tech stack. And I've seen some firms sort of falling behind a little bit when it comes to innovation, but and some companies, some firms may be a little hesitant to adopt newer technology, which of course, impacts, if you're a law firm, the work that you're going to be doing with your clients. But I will say, over the last couple of years, firms are catching up. I mean, I think everyone on this meeting knows that, and firms and companies are really, really starting to ride that wave of transformation. AI, analytics, data automation, sort of all key components to this wave of transformation. And looking through the educational sessions at ILTACON, I see AI, I see analytics, I see automation, really as key themes, and there are sort of many sessions built around these topic areas. And so, with that, I'd like to bring in Donna and Rodney to really to ask some questions, and well, I'm going to ask some questions and really get their perspective and to talk a little bit more about the sessions and give you in the audience, information on how sessions are chosen, what some of the themes are, other tips, other tricks as we head into ILTACON in a few weeks. So I'll kick it off with the questions. I'll start with Donna, but before I ask a question, and I know Kalia covered this too, so maybe just I'll double back to a little bit of housekeeping. This is meant to be an interactive session, team. So I know we have the chat and the QA available. Please, any questions you have, ask those in chat, ask those in QA. In fact, there's one of these questions I'm going to ask to Donna and Rodney. I'm actually going to open it up. I'd like to open it up to the audience to answer within chat too. So be ready. Maybe get ready to answer some questions in chat. And with that, let me get back to. I'll start with you, Donna, if it's okay with you, and then I'll ask Rodney maybe the same question. But Donna, part of your role as a co-chair for ILTACON is to help decide on the sessions that become part of ILTACON. Maybe tell us a little bit about that decision-making process.
Absolutely. So it starts the day after the ILTACON ends. I kind of feel it's a little bit like the Rose Bowl. You finish it up, and the next day it starts planning what is going to be the next year. So it really starts with identifying what the areas of focus are going to be for the year. And by areas of focus, I mean those overarching themes that would be most beneficial to our membership. So things like information governance, AI, leadership, applications, Microsoft 365. So we come together with this overarching themes of those areas of focus. And then we reach out to the membership and the business partners to get their ideas of what kinds of sessions they'd like to see for conference. So somewhere around that November, December timeframe, we do a call for session ideas. And this year we had over 900 session ideas submitted, which is really a record. We've never had that many ever in the past. So it just shows that the members and the business partners really want to be involved in what those educational sessions look like come ILTACON. So then we have 7 teams that are all grouped together by the different areas of focus that review those ideas and see which ones are best suited for a live conference. Sometimes ideas are better for an article or a blog or a webinar. So we do our best to try to find those sessions that would be best served in a live interactive environment. And those are the ones that end up becoming sessions. So a lot of times people have very similar ideas, so we merge ideas together, but no idea is ever thrown out. So of all of those that didn't get selected for conference get moved on to other parts of the ILTA education world to become those articles or blogs or webinars. So we really do our best to try to deliver what we're being asked by our membership.
Rodney, I don't know if you could, maybe add to some of that. Just I'm sure there's so many different sessions as Donna, touched on, and it's going to be hard to, I don't know, to take 3 or 4 sessions, kind of meld them into one. But I don't know, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Donna, said it, fairly straightforward around areas of focus. That's going to be key for us. And we constantly push the session coordinators and the team coordinators that we work with to try to focus on, if it's a session that we decide needs to come to ILTACON, that we're not duplicating or overpopulating with, a specific area of focus. So that's why we've got 7 different areas that we look at, or 7 different teams. And within those teams, we break out these different types of topics that we want to see, so that we can ensure that we're not, basically inundating them with one topic. For example, it's very easy. I think right now the hot topic is artificial intelligence, but this is not a simply an artificial intelligence type conference. So we're trying to cover a lot of different things, and having these different areas of focus sort of guides us in that process.
And that was going to be my follow-on question to you, Rodney, is maybe if you could just elaborate a little bit. I mean, how do you guard against having too many sessions in artificial intelligence, or I don't know, low code platforms, or document management systems, whatever it is? There are so many topics, but there's so many, I feel like, topics that people really want to hear about. So how do you guard against that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we go once we do the call for ideas, we work with the session coordinators, because we've defined those areas of focus. It'll sort of allows us to look. We've only got a certain number of sessions ideas that we can pick anyway, so we have to use that area of focus as our guide. And it's we spend a weekend. I can say that, going through each session, trying to see, what area of focus is aligned with. Then maybe we'll look at things like, is this really a topic that people want to see done live and in person? Like Donna mentioned, you make a choice on live and in person at the conference, or it's a webinar, or it's a blog, or it goes into some other type of content matrix that we may have out there. So I think going through that process keeps us from, over, populating with one topic of for the conference itself. So
you both obviously have incredible relevant experience for this conference, and so I guess my question, I'll start with you, Donna, if it's okay. How do you use your what you're doing today, your current experience, to make sure that the right sessions are chosen? So Donna, you're in application support. Does your, I guess, how does your experience factor in as as those sessions are chosen?
Yeah, great question. So I'm lucky enough in my role to be able to work with all the practice groups within my organization, and all of the software and business problems that they're trying to solve, to really give me a feel for what our firm is doing. But then outside of that, I'm very active with my ILTA membership to see what other firms and organizations are also doing. And that's one of the greatest things about the ILTA organization, is everyone is so open with sharing what struggles they're having, what business problems they're trying to solve, what software they've looked at and like or don't like, and those kinds of things. So all of that information really helps shape what I see would be beneficial when we get the membership together live and in person. And then I can't speak to how fabulous we have of our team we have 7 team coordinators, each with 7 session coordinators. So we've got 49 business professionals that are also, bringing their experience and knowledge to the table. So I'm lucky enough that it doesn't have to be the Donna and Rodney show. We've got so much collective knowledge to be able to bring to, getting the best sessions to our membership.
And Rodney, maybe a similar question. Your team specializes in the deployment of applications. It's a important topic for any firm, any legal department. Are there sessions around that topic at ILTACON this year?
Sessions around that, yeah.
Say,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there are going to be a lot of different types of sessions, to focus on those types of things. I know for us, we have huge, I think everybody's going through this, but huge artificial intelligence projects that are happening. And so it's always amazing to me to sort of sit through our process, and as Donna mentioned, we sort of I meet I think it's like every other week or every month with other firms to sort of talk about, different technologies and how they're using them. And then also you find that because you have to, with the artificial intelligence, you sort of start to go, outside of that circle. So now I know I meet personally with, organizations that do artificial intelligence, not just in legal, but also in other industries. And we try to take some of that knowledge that we bring and bring it back to our firm so that we can sort of have some insightful conversations about where to take that technology usage.
There is a question out in Q&A I was going to bring up, if it's okay. And I won't read it word for word, but I think the gist is, I think, Donna, you were just talking about this, sometimes sessions don't get chosen, right? But then they're sort of slotted into webinars or blog submissions. I guess, how do you announce that is the question.
So it really is on the ILTA website is where all of that, we don't specifically say, oh, and this was an idea that was, given for ILTACON. So it's not that apparent necessarily that it was an idea that got pushed over to that other team. But the best place to go look to see what kinds of different events, local events or webinars that are happening is on the ILTANet website to go look and see what's upcoming. As far as articles, we've got the peer-to-peer newsletter that comes out quarterly. A lot of the content that is in there comes from ideas that were given. So although you won't ever be able to see, oh, that was a specific idea that was given for ILTACON that ended up going to a different team, you will see that content eventually appear. Terrific.
Thanks, and thanks for the question out there. Please keep the questions coming. And actually, this is a part of the session that's going to be hopefully a little bit more interactive. I will ask this question, and I'll ask maybe Rodney to answer it first, then Donna. But let me ask the question to the entire audience. Assuming, of course, a major theme for 2024 ILTACON was is artificial intelligence. Rodney, Donna, those out there listening and participating, what do you foresee as sort of a major theme in 2025?
2025.
Rodney, you're up first, Rodney.
Yeah. I think like most things, and we've probably been saying this now for the past, 3 or 4 years, as more and more organizations start to dig deep into what does artificial intelligence mean to their organization. Last year we saw an increase in, their organizations were like, what is artificial intelligence? And then, you start to see people actually deploy some of these solutions, either in proof of concept or actual deployment usage in their firms. And then it seems like in 2025, I'm not sure if the curve is flattening, but I think there's definitely conversations about, okay, realistically, what are we gaining from utilizing artificial intelligence? I think that's going to be one of the conversations. What's the real value? One, can I continue to push it deeper into our organization? What use cases work? What use cases don't work? I think there's a lot of learnings happening right now, and so you'll start to see that come out more and more in 2025.
Donna, what do you think? Anything to add there? I don't know, any crystal ball insight that you might have?
If only I could predict the future, I would be using that ability to get those lotto numbers.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, I really do agree with Rodney, but what he's saying. But I also feel that I think we're going to get back to thinking about the human element in legal. I think the last few years about the AI and all of the tech and will it work and what is the tech and what is true AI compared to what is just, an algorithm, is all great. But I think in the end, we've really got to see what, that human element in legal can be and how we can marry that technology with the personality. Because in the end, if everyone's offering the same software, the deciding factor is going to be that human element, that person that's in front of you, that is doing your legal services for you. So I kind of feel like that's going to become part of the conversation as we move forward.
Yeah, Donna, you mentioned the human element. I want to maybe pivot to networking here. I've heard you both talk about the importance and just all the opportunities to network at ILTACON. Maybe Donna, I'll start with you if it's okay. Could you talk about maybe the networking opportunities at ILTACON and maybe a specific example of a relationship that started at ILTACON?
Absolutely. So that's the entire week is basically an opportunity for networking. It starts with Sunday afternoon. We've got regional team building sessions so that you can meet individuals that are in your region, opening up to the opening reception that everyone will be at. Monday night, we've got the exhibit hall opening where we'll get our first chance to meet with all the business partners and have a great time doing that. Of course, the Thursday night closing reception, to close out the week. But in the meantime, you've got the education sessions where you can meet individuals who are interested in the same topics that you're interested in and start asking similar questions about those different topics. You've got the visits to the exhibit hall to speak with the business partners. So to be honest, every moment from the moment you start conference till way after, you have the ability to network. My favorite networking story is Rodney and myself. We became connected because I had a profile on my ILTA membership that I was willing to volunteer, and I had a background in working with templates and automation, and Rodney was on the ILTACON committee looking for someone to speak on that topic. He reached out to me to ask if I'd be willing to speak at his session. And we've kept in touch ever since then and worked together on conference, and we're part of other groups that meet regularly. And I never would have had that relationship if I didn't put my foot out there to say, hey, I'm willing to volunteer. And Rodney didn't call me to ask me to volunteer. So
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, Mike, I was going to just add to the fact that one of the big things that I had to learn was introducing myself and being okay with that. The other opportunity that exists is that over lunch, what you find is that you will sit hopefully at a table where you don't know people at ILTACON. And that's a great opportunity just to introduce yourself to someone, to find out, their reason being at conference and various things. You'll often find that, you'll make friends. And then that grows into, various different things as far as how you go about, you're conducting business when there's a challenge at your firm. You're looking for that individual I met at ILTACON, whatever the year it was, to say, hey, I remember us talking about that. Let me find out what they did. How did they handle that challenge? from that area. So I think there's so many different opportunities to do that, but it really starts with yourself. And just, I know for some people that may be a challenge, but it's good to introduce yourself to people so that you can find out what's going on.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So it seems elementary, Rodney, you know what I mean? But it is, it's good to remember, and it's hard sometimes, to do that. So last question from me anyway, and we'll keep an eye on the chat and Q&A, but you've of course been to many ILTACONs. I'll start with you, maybe Rodney, if it's okay. Your number one tip for this audience, your number one ILTACON tip, getting ready, what is it?
Yeah, I think it's always plan ahead. So pre-research the things that you're going to do, because there's so many things. You're not going to be able to do everything. So you want to be strategic about the educational sessions that you attend, but also even the social events. Trust me, there will be a lot of social events that you can participate in, but try to plan ahead of that so that you know exactly what you're getting into, and then that way you'll enjoy yourself and have a lot of fun.
Donna, your number one tip, and you can't say bring a cowboy hat.
So my number one tip, it's a marathon, not a race. You've got an entire week. There is a conference app that is going to be released in the next couple of weeks, and that is your lifeline to everything that is happening. And to Rodney's point, it's the easiest way to do that plan ahead. So even if you can't plan ahead till you get on the plane on your way, you can go and mark off star those, favorite the ones that you want to do, and figure out what that looks like, and use that in order to best use your time. And then use the technology we're going to have. We're going to have the clicks back again, so you can work, people that you're meeting for the first time. You don't have to go and figure out how to exchange information. You'll be able to click back and forth. And then, like always, dress in layers and comfortable shoes. Conference rooms are always cold, and there's a lot of walking.
Yep. Excellent. Well, that was terrific. I appreciate that. Both Rodney and Donna, appreciate you taking us through that, and great prep for what's coming in a few weeks or so. As you were talking, as you were speaking, and for me, reviewing, the educational sessions on the ILTACON website, three themes really sort of stuck out to me. And we talked about this a little bit: artificial intelligence and data and litigation support, and really, tying these together, integrating artificial intelligence, data analytics, litigation support into firm operations. Firms are able to really, enhance what they can do, enhance their capabilities, improve efficiency, really provide, more impactful solutions for their clients. And I think that all three of these topic areas sort of feed off of each other. From an artificial intelligence standpoint, technology it continues to advance. The role of AI and legal, it just continues to grow. And Morgan, I know you're doing a session at ILTACON on how today's lawyers are enhancing their practice with AI. Could you maybe just talk a little bit about that session, and then also, if you could, Morgan, maybe talk about how that topic relates to the other conferences that you've spoken at recently. So whether it's Inside Practice or Clock, does that make sense, Morgan?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Just kind of piggybacking on some of the things Rodney and Donna talked about. I think what we're seeing is an evolution of AI in legal. If we look back at this time last year at the previous ILTACON, I think it was a lot more focus on kind of what people are thinking about doing in AI, where they think there's opportunities in AI. And what we're seeing in this year's ILTACON is really a shift towards, no, we want to talk about what people are actually doing. To Rodney's point, they've got a number of AI projects going on at their firm, and we see that in a number of firms. And so what we're going to be talking about in this particular session, but I think what you're going to see more broadly at ILTACON is really, people talking about what they're doing in AI at their firm today. where are they, what's working, what are they doing, what tools are they using, what use cases are they implementing? And it's going to be much more on, the results that they're seeing, where it's working, who's adopting it, as opposed to, what is AI and theoretical applications of AI. So it's going to be much more tangible, much more use case driven. I know our session is going to be about that, and I've talked to other folks, and in their AI sessions are going to be much more about the use cases people are doing. And, if I can answer your second question, I think that's also what we're seeing out there in the market more broadly, whether it's ILTACON, whether it's some of these other conferences. It really is coming back to, we're kind of over the theoretical, right? A lot of people have experienced, when we talk about AI, we're talking about Gen AI typically, is what most people are thinking about. And we're kind of over the what is it? Most people have experienced it at this point. People want use cases. People want to know, how is it going to improve their firm? How is it going to improve and get people's time back so that they can go and, repurpose that time somewhere else, or make their firm better, higher quality, that type of thing. And so we're seeing that in ILTACON, the conversation really around those use cases. And that's what we're seeing in a number of other places as well, whether it be other legal focused or even corporate legal and corporate operation focused conversations around legal. It's really around those use cases, and that's what we'll be focusing on. If I may, I'll just kind of piggyback real quick. I think there is a data focus, and I think you're right. And I almost see the AI and the data focus, they kind of go hand in hand, because what we're seeing is there's a revolution in AI and how it can utilize the data in your firm. And so I think we see a lot of firms understanding that, of how do they open up their data to some of these new tools so that they can apply it to, they can apply AI to some of these new use cases. And so I think that's why you're starting to see a bit of a resurgence in the data focus or the data management or data strategy, because firms are figuring out, hey, we need to figure out how to make this data available to the AI so that it can be used, so we can extract value in it. So I think these are kind of like a 1-2 punch. What can you do, and what are folks doing in AI, and how do you have a data infrastructure that better supports your organization? I think that's the other piece we're seeing on data focus.
Thanks, Morgan. Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch for sure. And thanks for covering both. I'm going to go with a 1-2-3 punch: AI, data focus, and litigation support. So Christina, similar question to what I asked Morgan. You've presented at legal conferences recently, Inside Practice, other types of sessions or types of conferences, excuse me. Maybe tell us a bit about your session, which is shaping a dynamic litigation support operation, and how it relates to what you've heard from people at law firms over the last 6 months or so.
Sure. Yeah. I always love and hate going after Morgan, because nothing is ever as sexy and as exciting as AI and innovation. But one thing that a few things that Morgan touched on that I think are really relevant here, we're all talking about, is really litigation support. Whenever we talk about how we are implementing innovation, business process strategies across the law firm, we're talking about real use cases and what law firms need in order to kind of get the organizational support they need to really implement some of these initiatives, whether it's AI, whether it's kind of traditional litigation support like e-discovery. And so some of those questions, the panel that I'm going to be speaking on at ILTACON really is about some of those high level questions. Where in the organization does lit support live? Is it practice focused? Is it IT? What are the resources dedicated at that organization, and do they have the support? Again, if it's a billable practice, is this billable work? Is this, a profit driver, a profit center for the organization, or is it not? And so we're going to be talking about a lot of the kinds of questions that have come up to your point, Mike, panels we've been at recently, events we've been at recently, and the types of questions that people are asking around how do we build a flexible litigation support infrastructure with potentially limited resources or organizational buy-in. And some of that is going to be, especially because it's ILTACON, focused on what are some of the latest tools, process automation and AI type strategies that we can use to make our case management more efficient. And then also kind of brainstorming some ideas, talking about best practices, what's worked in certain settings, what hasn't, and kind of getting creative. You know, a lot of what we do at Hike 2 as well is figuring out like what resources does this firm have to implement these amazing ideas they have, help get their data in order, help, you know, start building some of these more innovative tools. And sometimes it's literally us kind of almost being like contract workers for the firm, right? Where we're doing some of that work for them because they don't have the ability maybe to attract some of those more exciting and innovative people like Morgan to be on their staff full time. And so that's a lot of it as well.
Terrific. Well, thanks. Last slide, I think besides my thank you slide, next steps, I guess we could think about this one where, of course, you know, we talked about our presence at ILTACON, but I want to back up and just maybe piling on to what Rodney was starting to talk about, you know, plan ahead, right? So go to the ILTACON website, take a look at or download the agenda, start to plan out, you know, which sessions that you want to attend. And then I think, Donna, you might have said that the app is coming out maybe in a week or two. The app is key. It's critical. I can say that. I will say I was at ILTACON last year. It is really, it's just so easy on your phone. And I think you said you can star sessions that you want to go to, get reminders. So the app is critical. So keep an eye out, everyone, for the ILTACON app. And then Hike 2, Christina and Morgan will have sessions. They talked about those. We will be at booth 248. Come on by, have a conversation. Thanks very much. Thanks to Donna. Thanks to Rodney for answering our questions and bearing with us with some of our questions. And thanks for sharing your story about how you met and the networking. That's actually really, really cool. And thanks to Christina, thanks to Morgan for sharing your insights, not only on your sessions, but also everything that you've learned, you know, over the last 6 months, 6 years, you know, many, you know, all the interactions that you've had with law firms and legal entities that really, it helps me, it helps the audience. And thanks to the audience. Thanks to everyone for attending. We had great turnout. We're very much looking forward to ILTACON this year. Thanks to everyone. I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.